Hi everyone, it's Patty the Quiet Sister. Welcome back to my channel. For today's card project, we're going to make two snow globes, similar layouts, but very different looks. So to get started, I am using Hero Art's snow globe fancy die, and I cut it out of some craft cardstock, and I am using Catherine Pooler's macchiato and over coffee inks. I used the over coffee first and then came in with macchiato on the edges to make it a little darker. So once that was done, I cut the round portion of this die out a second time. I didn't want brown edges, I wanted white edges, so cut that out, and now I'm going to glue it over the brown edges there so that my snow globe has a white edge. I mean, you could leave it the craft color, it would still look fine. I just wanted white. So gluing that down, I'm using Barely Arts glue with my precision glue press, which saves my arthritis every day. So here I'm just marking where there's lights. This was the Hero Arts City Window Fancy die. And so I cut out the city and then I colored some yellow in the background. So I'm going to glue the city onto that background and then cut around it so it looks like the lights are on in the buildings. So giving that a second to dry, and then I'll come back and fussy cut that out. So this die actually has like almost like a snow globe top to it, but it's not as big as a normal snow globe. So I cut the round arc off the top of it. So I did this on I think the black is just some construction paper I had laying around. Sorry, I'm out of screen here. I'm trying to see where to cut and it wasn't going well. So anyway, I finished cutting that out, and now I am spraying some Distressed Resist spray on the paper, and it dried really quickly. And now I'm using Distress Mica Winter Frost, which, look at that color, that's gorgeous. So I let that dry, and then I cut it out using the snow globe die, but I just cut out the top part of the snow globe. Now I'm using Rabbit Holes Design the powder, anti-static powder, and I'm going to use a sentiment from a very, very old Hero Arts stamp set, and it's not even available now, so I'm not even going to tell you the name, but I love that sentiment, and I've never used it, so this is my year of using things, so we're using it. And then I'm stamping it with Hero Arts Unicorn White pigment ink. And I will still emboss it. I will use Wow's embossing powder in opaque white, but I like that I don't have to emboss it 3 times because I stamped it with the Hero Arts white pigment ink. And I was a little worried that heating it up would ruin the resist spray, but the resist spray hung in there beautifully. It really did a nice job. So got that heat set. And now we're going to work on our layout for the snow globe. So getting that lined up, relooking. And I am going to put a snowdrift on there just because I know it's a city and they shovel the sidewalks and everything, but I just like snow. It's a Christmas card. We got to have snow. So that'll be appearing. So this stencil is from Catherine Pooler. It's called the Snowfall Stencil. It's probably one of my favorite snow stencils. And I'm using TCW's Light and Fluffy modeling paste to stencil onto my cardstock. And so there's no shimmer in this paste. You can certainly add it if you want. You can throw in whatever kind of powders you have to make a shimmer. It works great. But I decided to do something a little different to add shimmer. So spread this on there. I let it dry. Oh, not very long. Yeah, maybe 10-15 minutes. And then I sprayed it with just my silver shimmer spray, and it turned out great. So now I added my snowdrift, and I'm trying to get the bottom to sit right in the snow globe. And I'm checking to see, do I want to add another snowdrift or what do I want to do? So to get the bottom to be exactly right, I'm pulling out the die again and I'll just run that through my die so it matches up perfectly with the snow globe. Because I fussy cut the bottom off when I glued the snowdrift on and I glued the buildings on. I fussy cut around the circle and I didn't do a good job. So this is cleaning it up. So there's 3 layers deep. So I did have to use my scissors to trim it, but it came out clean then. So it fits in there just right. So I'm pretty happy with how that is looking. And so my background is from this modeling paste and the shimmer spray has dried. So now I'm taking some Altenew inks, Altenew Fresh Dye inks in Ride the Wave first, and then in Navy second to get the background. So the Ride the Wave, I am doing it all over the card panel just to get a nice lighter to medium blue in there. And then Navy, I'm just going to go around the edges so the center of the card panel seems to be the focal point. It almost looks like it's glowing a little bit. And these inks went really well. The shimmer spray shows through them, which is wonderful. So Altenew's Navy is a little bit of a lighter navy, but it goes beautifully with Ride the Wave, so that's why I chose it. I do typically like a darker navy, but they went so well together. I had to use them. So now I'm figuring out where everything needs to go. And I decided to go around the edge of the white and make it a light blue so it blends a little bit better with the background. It's not a perfect match. I believe I used BG000 to do that. So it's not a perfect match, but it's not so stark white. I think that's what I was going for, is just not so stark white. So gluing all this down, and I'll have to put all my acrylic blocks on it to get it to stay down. And then just cleaning up my mess while all that dries. And then I will glue this. Oh no, I'm using sticky tape, sorry. I will adhere this down. And I have to say, this tape did not work as well as I'd hoped. It might be the layer of the shimmer spray. It might have been the modeling paste, but it did not lay down as well as I'd hoped. I did end up putting glue around the edges, and then I had to stick it underneath a really heavy book in my MISTI to get it to lay flat, which worked great. That fixed everything. So now we're putting in the snow globe portion. And I did decide to add Santa and the reindeer, which I will show you at the end. So this did not finish the card. I did add Santa and the reindeer. So you can see I'm still fussing with it. It just would not lay flat. So probably would have been better just to use wet glue on this. So then we're going to get this attached to the card base. I do decide to trim 1/8 of an inch off all the way around so that we can get a nice border on our card base. And using a strong adhesive like from the ATG gun, you know, you've put moist paste on the paper and I put a moist shimmer spray on it. So that helped it lay flat. So I stenciled, again, same stencil, same modeling paste, but this time I sprayed it with Dylusion's shimmer spray in white linen. And it's a different kind of shimmer. It's more pearlescent. It's not as shimmery as the shimmer spray, but it is beautiful. Like I could see using that on a baby shower card or a wedding card. It's an elegant shimmer. So now I'm cutting out all the pieces that come, and I'm using Spellbinders Simon's Snow Globe for this card. And I just wanted to compare. I'm doing similar layouts. It's a cluster of buildings. One is a city. One is more of a neighborhood in the suburbs. But it's similar layouts, just different colors. And it just really changes the scene. And I just wanted to have those comparisons so you guys can decide what you like best when you're making your Christmas cards. So I am ink blending some of Catherine Pooler's Hot Tub ink on some horrible white cardstock. It was really inexpensive and cheap, and I wanted to see how it blended, and it did not blend well, but then it started looking like parchment paper, so I was okay with it. So then I brought out my Gonzai Tombi Starry Night watercolors, and I wet down the white gold and the champagne gold, and we're going to splatter on our little circle there for our snow globe. But I decided it was too much white, so I'm adding a little bit of gold behind the windows of the house that will be in the front, so you see gold through the house. And that is a really nice touch, and I can't take credit for it. I believe I saw this a year ago from the Spellbinders team doing something similar, very similar to this, with their design. So got to give credit where credit is due. And this was definitely inspired by that design. So putting down the white, splattering some of the white Starry Night paint, and now we're using the champagne gold, and we just wanted a couple touches of the champagne gold to tie in the gold. So here I was ink blending with the hot tub and the twilight, going back and forth. I wanted a green gray base. I didn't want a traditional color. I wanted something a little different. I decided I wanted it a little more gray, so coming in with a little more twilight ink. So this is from the scrap of cardstock where I cut the original snow globe out. And that's a big enough contrast. I like that. And then as the ink dried and smoothed out, it was perfect. So I'm cutting out the snow globe base using my Empress die cutting machine, one of the best die cutting machines out there. And now I've got my card base, which is all wrinkled from being sprayed. And now I am setting up my design. I'm trying to figure out where the base will go. So I love the reindeer flying overhead. And the trees in this die set are beautiful because they cut out the tree shape and it also embosses them like there's snow on the trees. These are so wonderful. So I'm going to be tucking trees in and around the design, and then we've got the gold lampposts. Look at those teeny tiny lampposts that the dies cut out. They're so darling. So I've kind of got my layout. And then I decided I want just a little color on the roof of the house that's in the front. So I grab a Copic marker, and I don't even know what it is because I decided I didn't like it when I was putting the card together, and I redid it. So not quite sure what the color is. So setting up how I want it to lay out. So I put some glue on that strip, pressing it down, and then I will add the base strip. And I apologize for the noise. My neighbors have the world's loudest air conditioning unit. And then tucking those adorable trees behind, and there will be some in front as well because they are so cute. Had to use them all. So then I wanted the house front and center because it has that cute gold in the windows. I mean, you've got the glimmer of the gold and of the lanterns. So here I'm trying to see, did I like it house lantern tree or house tree lantern? And I decided I liked house tree lantern better. So glued that side down, then I'll get the other side glued down. And then just like the other card, we will pick it up and trim around the back side, getting that excess off. I had a little adhesive on my snowbank I had to get out of there. So I was about to glue the roof on, set it down, like instantly did not like it. So got rid of it. So now I'm going to do hot tub ink on a piece of scrap paper. So did a little ink to paper. I'll die cut that out. And then I will have a color I like. So it's just a little bit of a darker color in the middle of all that white, which worked really well. So trimming off the excess on the snowbanks. So now we have our cute little snow globe. Had a little snafu there with the gun. So I've got my shimmery background, and now I'm just going to figure out where I want the snow globe to be. And then, yeah, I just want Santa coming in at an angle. So then, trying to decide what I wanted for a sentiment, and I decided I wanted Merry Christmas, and I was going to just cut it out of that same gold cardstock, which this cardstock is from Recollections. You've seen me use it many times before. It is wonderful. So the die cuts out the letters of Merry Christmas, and I thought it cut it as a banner, but it didn't, but it left an impression, so I was able to cut out the banner. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted the banner of Merry Christmas. I actually didn't want the letters, so I saved those for something else. So just going to set the banner on there. I do end up trimming the banner down a little bit more off camera. I don't know what was with me being off camera so much this time, this video. I apologize. So gluing that down. And then we'll get the rest of this adhered. All right, now come the acrylic blocks again, and I think I put my Misties on here too. Yep. Helping it to lay flat. And now I'm looking for some foam squares or something, and I wanted my least dimensional foam squares, so I was digging for those, and I'll put those on the back of the snow globe base. So then I'll have to cut apart some of the squares for the bottom part. And then peel off all that, all the backing. It is not exciting video right there. Probably could have edited that out. And then putting some glue on the base of it just to give me a little wiggle room when I was setting it up. And then gluing down Santa and his reindeer. And I really liked the Santa and the reindeer out of this set, so I decided to cut them out of black and put them on my other card too, which I will show you later. Actually, I'll show you very shortly from now. So here's this card. Putting it on a card base, again using ATG because I needed the strong adhesive in order to get it to lay flat. There we go. So I've got both cards. So you decide, do you like the light, kind of wintry but non-traditional? Both of them are non-traditional Christmas colors. But do you like the darker or the lighter? I mean, it's similar looks. It's, you know, snow and homes on the bottom and Santa and the reindeer on top. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.